So what? This is my topic.
It is your time, man. Is it spicy? Is it spicy in here? It got a little hot all of a sudden.
Dude, it was like 2 days ago, but it died down a little bit because I swear when I called you on Saturday, I saw
Uh,
some type of tweet that basically said they chose Cam Sutton over Steven Nelson.
yeah.
They're going to give Cam Sutton the starter's job, or at least give him the
Hmm.
opportunity to start at that second cornerback slot, which didn't really make Steven Nelson too happy, and which is why the whole request trade
Hmm.
or eventually releasing of Steven Nelson happened.
Yeah.
But as I'm trying to look back at what I saw, I swear, dude, I don't know what happened. I told you I saw the Villanueva news in a dream. I don't know if this Cam Sutton, Steven Nelson news was in a dream, but I couldn't find that tweet because it was way more definitive, and
Hmm.
that's what happened. So a day goes by, and I'm trying to research this topic again and try to find the tweet. It's gone. And the only thing I could find is a little bit of the story, a little bit of a
Here we go.
semblance
Here
of
we
that
go.
tweet where it's just like Steelers were going to give Cam Sutton every
Hmm.
opportunity to start at that second quarterback spot. They told him that in their kind of interview whenever they were negotiating the contract. And that was about it. You don't really hear much else about Steven Nelson and
Yeah.
why the Steelers released him or tried to trade him. But if you want to kind of put two and two together there, it does kind of make
Yeah.
sense a little bit. But then people are just going off the rails and trying to character smear Steven Nelson,
I did
which
see
I don't
that.
like. Not even from
I did
this.
see
We've talked
that.
about this off the mic too.
Yeah.
The little back and forth between Devin Bush, which was completely a joke
Bro.
and was pretty
Big
funny
joke.
actually. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. We talked about this whenever Steven Nelson
Hmm.
was initially released and the Steelers were trying to trade him. He requested the trade. It wasn't that big of a deal. I just saw it as business.
Right.
And I see it this way, but that tweet was just a little bit more damning that it had to do with, hey, we're bringing in Cam Sutton, we're giving him a
Hmm.
chance. And then, like, immediately they were looking to trade Steven
Yeah.
Nelson, or there was some back and forth between Steven Nelson and the Steelers of getting him out of there. But I don't see that anymore, so that's
Mm.
not confirmed, but it looks like the Steelers are ready to roll with Cam Sutton as the
Yeah.
starting cornerback.
Well, you know what? This is great. So we're gonna ask the people right here, all the YouTubers. I see y'all out here in the chat. I got y'all. Between Cam Sutton and Steven Nelson, if y'all would have had a choice, if y'all were GM, y'all were Kevin Colbert, who would y'all have rather have kept? Steven Nelson or Cam Sutton, right? In terms of letting them start that cornerback 2 role. Would you have rather it been Steven Nelson? Or you like the fact that we're moving forward with Cam Sutton? Let me know in the comment section, man. We'll make sure we say this. Well, we're gonna chat you. We're gonna shout you out. You know, make sure you give us good stuff in here.
So here's some of this quotes from this article I'm reading. Cam Sutton, coming out of the exit
Mm-hmm.
meetings, going into the offseason, they said they were going to give me every opportunity to play outside.
Mm-hmm.
But then he also says, it keeps going on, that he
And you were
loves.
right. Dale Lally reported it. Yeah, we had somebody in the chat just put it in there as
So
well.
it wasn't a dream.
Yeah, it wasn't a dream. You're good. You're good. Bro, what do you be doing before you go to sleep? That you making me nervous, Deke. How you just be going to sleep? Like, yo, was
So
that dream? Was I awake?
Am I wrong? Am I right or wrong? The tweet's deleted, though. I can't
No,
find it.
it is. It is. But
Okay.
Steven also, he made his thing private as well. So if you weren't following him ahead of time, that happened. And they said he blocked like a ton of people as well.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a lot of shit happened after I saw that tweet.
Yeah. They said he made it private and started blocking like everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, and then it goes on to say Cam Sutton loves the versatility element to his game, that he's not
Mm-hmm.
trying to just push that aside. He just
Yeah.
wants to start outside, but then also if they need him to play on the inside in the slot, he's more than willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this article, this is from Pittsburgh Post Gazette, Ray
Filipalo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on to compare actually Cam Sutton to Steven Nelson whenever they hit their free agency periods.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Nelson a couple years back, now Cam Sutton this season.
Yeah.
Whereas Nelson was saying, I want to just be a full-time outside corner. But both of them are a little bit unproven, where it's like, hey, we're going to give you this chance to be the bona fide starter. It's just that they're pointing a little bit to Cam Sutton being more open to that versatility element as opposed to Steven Nelson. But from everything I've read or looked at, it didn't seem like the Steelers were gung-ho about releasing Steven Nelson until after this Cam Sutton contract was signed. That's just from what I'm looking at. This is just some of these rumblings going back and forth. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It's interesting because right now, yeah, I want Steven Nelson next year.
I agree.
I want him next year.
I want him next year with Cam on the inside.
I would. Yeah, are the Steelers seeing something though, where they believe in Cam Sutton? There's this upside. Steven Nelson's 29, almost 30.
Yeah.
Whereas Cam Sutton's about to hit his prime.
Yeah.
Maybe they're betting on that. But as of right now, just for next season, yeah, I want Steven Nelson.
Yeah, I just feel like in 2021, Steven Nelson is the more complete player right now. He is the more polished player between the two, and he has just more experience playing on the outside. Whereas with Cam Sutton, it's not to say that he can't grow into that role, and I fully think he will. I'll actually have a film breakdown on him later this week where we show some of the stuff of him on the outside. But it's just like, man, one is a proven commodity. One, we don't have to do the guesswork. One, we have a 2-year sample size here in Pittsburgh of what he did to that secondary and how much better it got once he got here. Whereas with Cam Sutton, you're potentially flirting with it, taking a step back, or you're hoping best case that it's on par with it, right? Because I don't think we are assuming that Cam Sutton is going to come out here and be better than Steven Nelson, but we at least think that he should be on par with Steven.
Sure.
And like I said, that should be a great scenario for us next year, but that's a lot of questions. That's a lot of uncertainty surrounding that. So that's my thing in terms of why I would have rather went with Steven Nelson, at least for this year, especially with the whole mindset and mentality of, hey, we're running it back one last time for 7. If we're gonna do that, like, let's do that. That's just kind of how I view it.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have that versatility too, where you're not relying on James Pierre, Justin Lane now.
Right.
You could maybe have them take on the Cam Sutton
Mm-hmm.
role from 2 or 3 years ago, where you put them in a little bit, see what their upside is, and then groom them to potentially be the starter in 2 or 3 years. But in this case, one of those dudes really got to step up.
No, without a doubt. And like,
I'm betting on Pierre. I'm all in.
It's funny when I watch Pierre and Lane on tape. Pierre is the more productive player of the two. Very fundamental in terms of like his build and what he looks like out there. But Justin Lane athletically, like, it's different. Like, I watched Justin and you can see like why he was drafted.
Okay.
Like his length, his speed, hips, like it's certain things just like wow. But then you also see him have lapses mentally, where it's just like, all right, finish this play a little bit better. That's a PBU. All right, drive out of this break instead of just kind of coming out of it softer. Thinking more tackle. No, drive and think more like break in front of an interception. He's capable of doing that. I just think that he needs to have that like mentality drilled into him that you are good enough to do that. It just looks like from a confidence standpoint, he doesn't have the same confidence as Pierre. But Pierre doesn't have the same athletic ability as Justin Lane, if that makes sense. It's like, even though he's not as gifted, he's a more productive player. It's weird how it works, but that's what we always say. Like, just because a guy's a great athlete doesn't mean he's going to be a great player. And just because a player might be limited athletically, they can still excel. I mean, Robert Spillane was a prime example of what he did this year. He's not the fastest, the biggest, or the strongest, but he's productive. Vince Williams is another guy. He's made a career of this thing. He's not the fastest, he's not the biggest, but he's productive. So that's kind of like how I view them. But either way, I like those two guys in that conversation as like depth, not as potential starters right now.
The third cornerback.
Right. Because we just haven't seen a lot from them to that standpoint. But I did say I was going to get to them. Let's check what they got. Let's see. Let's see what the YouTube Nation stand. We got to come up with a name for them too, man. We don't have a name for them just yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody has like their followers. Like, you got Steelers Nation. You got the Dirty Dozen.
We gotta think of that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got your Deadheads for the Grateful Dead. We gotta we'll think tank that, or maybe that should be their homework. Maybe y'all should come. What do y'all want to be called? The supporters of what we got going on here.
Sure.
But I'm seeing a lot of us. They would rather have kept Steven Nelson. Oh, this one right here. They said that they would rather went with Cam Sutton. This is from Vikesh. Shout out to Vikesh. He said, I'd rather start Cam because of the price and his versatility.
Yeah, see, I like that from...
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Cam because of the cap situation.
Exactly.
David said that as well.
But for next year solely, I'd prefer Steven Nelson.
I agree.
But if you're telling me I had to choose based off the numbers, like if we had to pay Steven Nelson like $10 million a year versus Cam Sutton and what he got, I would go with Cam Sutton. But in a vacuum, just player for player, Steven Nelson.
Well, and another thing that I'm seeing in here as well, we didn't even ask this. Shout out to Jay Metro on this. He said, oh, no, excuse me, not shout out to Jay because you were in here as well. But a couple of these people in here were saying that they would rather have cut Hayden. They're saying that, they think that he's lost a step a little bit. That was
the conversation we were having.
Yeah, so Jay said that he thinks that Hayden may have lost a step. Peter, he said that, he think it would be Hayden, but he just hates to say it because business is business. But from a money standpoint, because
he did remember when we talked about this, his cap hit was way higher than Steven Nelson. We would have saved so much more.
Absolutely. And the thing is, do we feel that as it going into 2021 that Steven Nelson was that much behind Joe Hayden? We thought year one, Steven outplayed Joe. We thought year two, Joe outplayed Steven. But I didn't think that either one of those guys in either year separated themselves drastically. It wasn't like a Minka compared to Terrell Edmonds, where it was like, all right, this is the clear cut alpha and this is the number 2 guy. With both of those guys, we were saying, like, man, they make a great tandem because they're both kind of like right on the same level. Now, obviously, Joe can still, I think
He has more
athletically,
splash plays.
he does.
He had the pick with the Broncos. He had that.
He had a
Was
couple.
it?
He had a couple picks.
It wasn't
yeah.
Was it a fumble return to the house? No, it was a
No, he had a
pick
pick 6
against
versus
the Ravens. Yeah,
RG3. Yeah.
Yeah, he has more splash plays.
Whereas
But
remember with Steven, he didn't get his first interception until like week was it 12 or 13 last
yeah,
his first year here in
and I
Pittsburgh.
think he just had the 2 against the
Right.
Eagles this year. That was it.
Whereas with Joe gives you splash. And he gives you, I just like his swag. I want you to look good and ball out, and that's what he gives me.
Yeah, and outside of the Bills game, I don't remember Steven Nelson giving up that big of plays.
Right.
Whereas with Joe Hayden, I remember seeing some chunk plays
Yeah.
that he was giving up. I don't know how much that was communication or not. We talked about that for lengths on end the first like 5-6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, because we said with Steven, we thought that his 2 worst games throughout his time here in Pittsburgh were against the Bills. John Brown the first year, and then obviously Diggs last year. We thought that those were the 2 games where he struggled the most. We thought 2 years ago that, man, he just didn't get a lot of opportunities to get interceptions, but he ended up with 2 of them, right? Then last year, we said, man, it was like the communication was off early. Remember the Giants game, right? The touchdown. We saw that a couple times. Then we were seeing the slipping a lot as well. But even with that, I still never felt that he had fallen off. I didn't think he lost a step. I just thought, number 1, you got to get better cleats. Probably the Adidas you wearing. Make sure you got some Nikes on, but that's neither here nor there. But, or whatever you got on, like that. But I just didn't think it was that different. But the big part was the money element. And to see what we could have saved if it was Joe versus Steven, that just makes me wonder, like, I don't know.
I think they just picked Joe Hayden and Cam Sutton, what it comes down to.
Yeah.
First, it was Joe Hayden versus Steven Nelson, and then this whole thing with Cam Sutton versus Steven Nelson. I think that's, in my opinion, that's what I'm taking away from it.
Now,
but we thought it was close, though. That's the thing.
We did.
I wasn't opposed to one way or another, whichever one you picked. It was just you might have to make a decision based off our cap space situation.
Now,